going on, guys? Welcome back for another video. I appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate the subscribes. We're going to be putting the carbs and the oil lines on the 750, and there's a few things I want to go over with how we're going to route the oil lines. Obviously this is a 750 intake. These are 780 carbs. You're going to have oil lines on your carbs. You're going to have oil lines on your intake. I went on Amazon, I ordered a kit. Let me see if I can find it for you guys. Right here. It's an 80-piece rubber vacuum cap assortment. You can see the sizes. Now what I did is I blocked off the oil lines on the stock 750 intake. So we're going to go ahead and put these carbs on. I made a video showing you how to sync the butterflies on these. Before I put these carbs on, I'm going to have to run my fuel lines. So that'll be coming up on this video. I forgot all about that, honestly, so I'm going to get that done, and then we're going to put these carbs on. We're going to route the oil lines. I'll just show you real quick. The oil lines are going to come up. They're going to come to here, probably come through this way, through the front, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. And we'll get the PTO coupler on this video, hopefully, and then the Ocean Pro air cleaners, and this thing will be ready to drop in finally, guys. We're back to getting these carbs on. As you can see, I made the return lines. And also, one thing I wanted to point out to you guys on these 780 carbs, the 750 intake, I didn't know this till I was doing some test fitting. These studs are different lengths, so I had to remove the old studs out of the old carbs and put them on these 780s. The bolts were too long, you couldn't get the nuts on. They were hitting down here. So what I did is I just double nutted them, the studs, like this. Put 2 nuts on, back to back. I'll just show you real quick. And I tightened them really tight together, and I was able to turn this nut and back these studs out one at a time. And when I installed them, I put a little blue Loctite on them and ran them in until they stopped. No big deal, easy process. So let's go ahead and get these on, get the gaskets lined up. Take out these rubber plugs. Okay, now we'll put the gaskets on. Like this. And we'll put our carbs on. They're very tight fitting into the intake. Gonna wiggle them down. Okay, carbs are on. Now you got 2 nuts on the bottom for each carb. Let me go find some nuts. I'm not going to torque spec them. I'm just going to go tight with them because I have a feeling I'm going to be taking these carbs back off to change the jetting. I am going to look up the torque spec just to see what it is. Maybe I will torque them, but little blue Loctite on these guys, like everything on this, and then tighten them down. And we'll go about the oil lines, and we'll go about the Ocean Pro air cleaners. And I'm going to have to eventually, in my fuel line video, make a mount for my triple outlet pump, but this is just getting things started. Okay, you guys can see I got a little drop of blue Loctite on all those. Now here's the nuts. Start getting all the nuts on. We'll get them tightened down, and then we'll get those Ocean Pros on. So, since I'm working the camera by myself like always, I'm going to tighten these down off camera. Nice and tight, so the video is not super boring for you guys. I know I'm not the best entertainer. And I think it's almost time to get ourselves a cold beverage going. It's Sunday, almost 2 o'clock. I got a couple projects going here at once. Let me get them tightened up and get on to the next step. I will tell you guys, one thing that is going to suck is when I have to take these carbs off. I know I'm going to have to take them off again in the hull. Can only get an open end in here. I probably shouldn't have done the blue Loctite, but the vibration and stuff, I don't want them to get loose and have an intake leak. It just sucks. You have to use an open end, and I'm probably going to get some real short wrenches when I have to take these off in the hull. So I'm playing a guessing game with the jetting on this. So I have no idea how close we're going to be or how far off we're going to be. So time will tell, and testing on the water in the spring. I'm not going to be able to ride this thing this year. We'll get it figured out. Okay, I'm going to wait to put the Ocean Pros on until I get the fuel line routing. I kind of lied to you guys a little bit in this video. I'm going to hold off, and I'll finish the Ocean Pros when the motor's in the ski. But one thing I do want to do is get these these oil lines on in this video. I'm going to get all these old ones off. I bought brand new tubing right here. I forget the diameter of it. I can look it up, let you guys know if anybody needs to know. And actually, I'll look on my phone right now and see what I purchased. So I get in the video of getting this line on a little bit and get it wrapped up. Here's the oil injection line I purchased right here. It's 1/8 or 3mm ID. I got 10 foot of it, which is going to be plenty. And of course, I'm going to use the clips that I always use on everything. I will show you as I'm doing it a little bit. I did mention earlier in this video too, I'm using vacuum caps. I got off Amazon to block off the stock oil lines because I'm going to use the 780 oil injection up on the carbs. Here's the clips I'm hopefully going to be able to use. Get the tool in there to squeeze them. These are going to be 6 to 7 millimeters. I always buy these kits. I like these clamps. You squeeze them tight, you know they're sealed. Lines won't be leaking. I could tell these other lines were leaking. They were easy to pull off. They weren't tight enough on there for my liking. I got to start cutting these lines to length and start routing them. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to use those clips like I wanted to. I can't get the pair of pliers in here to crimp them, which kind of sucks. But with this line, they did include these clips right here. And I'll squeeze these open. A pair of needle nose, get them on. And I'll put the line on here. These do fit pretty snug on there. I think these clips are going to be okay. Yeah, it's a lot better than what it was. Now I got to figure out the routing of my lines. Not really sure how I want to do it. It's going to be a iffy task on how I want to route them. It's got these holders here on the carbs on each one. So I guess I'm going to go like that. I'll have to make sure they're not chafing on anything in the hull when I get to that point. So that's how we're going to run them. That's why I bought a lot of extra line. In case we make any mistakes, it won't be a big deal. Hoping I don't have to pull these carbs off more than once to get the jetting right. I did a lot of reading on Green Hulk, and there was some good info, but it's old information. You know, not a lot of guys are working on these things anymore, which is understandable. I mean, they're not worth the money I'm putting into it, but something to do, something different. I'm not going to sit here and have you guys watch me put every line on. I'm going to show you the end product and wrap the video up. I wasn't going to put the Ocean Pros on in this video. I was going to wrap it up, but looking at the way my fuel lines are going to have to go, I'm going to have to use the same style clip I used on the oil lines. I'm not going to be able to get my crimps back here. I'm looking at them. I might as well just put them on now, then I don't have to worry about covering this up in the garage, dust getting down in the carburetors. I can just put a little bag or something over the individual air filter to keep the dust out. So let's go ahead and get them on. It's my first time ever putting these on. I got the hardware here for them. And we'll be able to see what we can do here and show you how they go on. Start on this side. Just going to show you guys one. Get our gasket on. I'm trying to get the camera in as close as I can. See, I got these cleaned up really nice on the sealing surfaces. Looks like on these studs, the taller side, the longer side is going to go into the carbs. So like everything else, just going to do a little drop of blue Loctite on them. Just a real small drop. Just for the vibration. These things vibrate like crazy. Get something to tighten the stud in there. It's just going to be an 8mm. I'm using my ratcheting wrench. Love these things. Get that one snugged up. the next one in. Make sure your gasket stays lined up, obviously. This motor is going to flow a ton more air compared to the stock airbox, so I don't know if I mentioned it on my other videos. I really jetted the carbs up. I'm 122.5 on the mag side, I believe, and I'm 120 in the middle for the mains. The last stud in here. Make sure these studs are decently tight. Definitely don't want that thing leaking in the air or getting stuff in between the intake there. Okay, air cleaner will slip on like that. Now your cover will go on just like this, and then you're gonna have 3 cap nuts at the top. Probably will just do a drop of Loctite on there. This Loctite bottle sucks. Do a drop of blue Loctite. And just like that, guys. It's going to be 10 millimeters on those. I don't know where my 10 mil... Oh, here's my 10 mil ratcheting wrench right here. Just tighten them down. Snug them up, I should say. And there you go. That's it. So it does look like what these people sent me here. They got the wrong screws. I only got one more cap screw. So before I install these other 2, I'm going to go online and get the proper cap screws so this looks really nice. And that's it. So wrap the video up. I want to say thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. I'm going to have a fuel line video and all that out for you guys coming up. And let's get the motor back in this thing and get it running.